What's up, all you YouTube viewers? Today in this video I'm going to be explaining why not everybody could become an Amazon delivery driver slash courier. And I'm also going to be discussing in this video that Amazon needs to have a more methodical and systematic way of their courier service. All of that will be explained shortly in this video. But first, I wanted to establish the topic of this video and the things that I will be discussing in this video. Now, I can understand that, especially during the pandemic, when the coronavirus broke out last year in 2020, I can understand how you all feel. Especially the younger people feel after the virus hit and people were furloughed from their jobs and they got laid off. People were excited, especially younger people within the ages, I would say, between 18 and 25 years old. You know, they get excited because they have a job after being laid off for so long. Or speaking for the young people, they might be excited because working for Amazon as a delivery driver might be their first job, and they might fortunately have a smartphone with all the apps and good reception, like with one of the major carriers, probably with AT&T or Verizon or maybe T-Mobile. So what I'm saying is that they probably have a good working cell phone, great reception, that's a high performance cell phone, like a Samsung S series or the Apple iPhones between the series 11 and 13. So you might be excited to have a phone, and this is a great opportunity because I could download the Amazon Flex app and I could become a driver. You know, I'm 45 years old, and apparently I was between the ages of 18 and 25 years old at one point. Apparently, because I'm 45 now. All I'm saying is that I've been there, I've done that, and I've seen that, and I know what it feels like to feel young and especially be excited about your new job, and especially being excited about it being your first job, which is even more so exciting. But the reason why I point out that not everybody can be an Amazon driver is because a lot of these DSPs, and what the acronym stands for, DSPs, is delivery service partner, or I think it's delivery service provider. But in any case, these DSPs, they will post their job openings on the app or the website called Indeed.com, whether if it's the app or whether if it's online. It could be found on your Android app Play Store or on the Apple Store. So either way, what I'm saying is you can either download the app on either an Android phone or an iPhone phone. And so these delivery service providers, what they'll post is the requirements you must meet. You must be able to lift a certain amount of pounds. You have to have a reasonably good driving record. You have to pass a drug test. You have to pass a drug test and run a criminal background check, and they'll run a driving record. And in some cases, these DSPs, again, delivery service partners or delivery service providers, be that as it may, whichever you choose to call it, they'll even state in the job description that there is no experience required. Okay, there lies the point, and that's the part I want to tackle about not everybody could be a Amazon delivery driver. And I'm gonna explain why. Because I don't mean to slander anybody. I don't know if I'm talking about Jeff Bezos. I don't know if I'm talking about Amazon, or I don't know whose idea it was for the Amazon Flex app, you know, to give the delivery drivers guidance to where they need to go using the navigation system. But I don't, like I said, I don't know if it's Jeff Bezos or Amazon's idea or whoever who works for Amazon. I don't know whose idea it was, thinking that I'm just making an estimated guess that they feel that if you have a cell phone with good reception and with good service and the cell phone that performs well, you have navigation and you could download the Amazon Flex app and you could do the job. And they make it seem like it's so easy that just because you're equipped with a cell phone with navigation and able to download the Amazon Flex app, they feel that you're qualified enough to do the job. With all due respect, I really feel that that's bull crap. And I'm going to explain why. In the type of neighborhood where I live in, you know, on most of the streets in the city I live in, houses are, not talking about apartments yet, I'm only talking about houses, but apartments, I'm sorry, not talking about apartments yet, but talking about houses. Houses are pretty much right next to each other. It's a two-way street where you don't see the center divide lane. So what I'm saying is that there's enough room for one car to travel in this direction and the other car travel in the opposite direction at the same time. There's plenty of room for that. And it's easy to go from house to house. Amazon Flex app might have you work the odd number side as well as the even side numbers at the same time if both houses are directly across from each other. In my personal experience, if that's the case, that will be pretty much expediting two stops at one time. And it's very easy because, as I pointed out, if there's enough room on the road for two cars to travel the opposite direction at the same time, that means that there's room for two cars even going in the opposite direction. I mean, that's pretty easy. It's also pretty easy because they've improved the Amazon Flex app where even if you go on apartment complexes, the Amazon Flex app will almost give you an almost accurate destination of exactly where the apartment number is. So instead of guessing and looking at the apartment complex map before you go into the apartment complex, the Amazon Flex helps you and enables you to get as closest to the exact apartment you're trying to deliver to. Oh, that's good. I mean, that helps for delivering to residential houses and apartment complexes. But the problem with Amazon is the fact that the reason why I pointed out is because reason why I pointed out that not everybody could be Amazon drivers because, as I mentioned, apartment complexes and normal residential areas such as the one I mentioned a few minutes ago. To me, it's a contemporary, modern way of living everyday life. It's something that I'm used to. But when it comes to rural areas, it's a totally different way of living. It's a totally different way of life. When you go into the rural areas, you're dealing with going into higher elevations in the mountains. There might be branches in the way. The roads get narrower. You're dealing with more private and open land. You're probably exposed to wildlife. And what makes it so even more so hazardous at delivering in those type of rural areas at night is the fact that it's even harder because when it gets dark, you can't see, and it's even much more harder to get out of those narrow roads. So what I'm saying is that, not speaking for the people who lived in rural areas all their life, I'm not speaking for those people. I'm talking about it's much harder and much more difficult for everyday person such as myself to deliver in those type of areas. Why? As I pointed out, me such as myself, using myself as an example, I'm not used to that type of way of living, and I'm not used to driving in those areas. You know, like I said, the people that already live in rural areas, it's a normal thing. Why? They've probably lived there probably about 20 to 30 years, or maybe their whole life, even more. So they're used to it versus me not being used to it. And that's just my point. That's the reason why not everybody could be a delivery driver, because not everybody's used to driving, especially those big Amazon Prime vehicles. Not everybody is used to driving in tight spaces and narrow roads, as I pointed out, using rural areas as an example. Also, the reason why I mentioned that Amazon needs to have a more methodical and systematic way of courier service is because these delivery service providers, I don't know if it's the DSPs or I don't know if it's the Amazon Corporation itself, but here's what the problem is the fact that every few months or so, they keep changing the service area. Me, I'm located in California. For a period of time, I covered Richmond, Oakland, Hayward, and Berkeley. That lasted between, I don't know, I'm just taking an estimated guess that it lasted between October of 2020 through about March 2021. And then for some odd reason, our area changed. And instead of delivering in those parts of California, they changed our service area to San Rafael, Tiburon, I believe it's called, Sausalito, San Rafael, and cities like Belvedere. And it's like, the point I'm trying to make is that it's not good, nor is it wise to keep changing the service area. Well, why is that, you may ask? Because if you've already worked in the service area for a long period of time, you're used to it, you get the feel of it, you get the sense of it, you know where you're going, you know where you've been, and you know what you're doing, and you feel some type of complacency because you get the sense that I've done this route before, I know I could do it better because I know my way around. I mean, it's just such a big disappointment that when you gain that sense of complacency, all of a sudden, either Amazon or the DSPs, they change your service area to a whole totally different county. And then what happens? You have to end up learning the new area. You have to readjust. And I gotta tell you, that's the most frustrating thing about working for Amazon slash DSP as a Amazon Prime delivery driver. It's the fact that you gotta make adjustments to a brand new area. When I feel that, for my part, either Amazon or the DSP, they just should have just left it all alone altogether. And not only that, what was so frustrating about the fact that, what was also so frustrating about working for Amazon was that, say for example, you would start 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. Well, let's just go at 7 a.m. You know, you clock in on the Amazon app at 7 a.m. and then you clock in with your DSP using the ADP app or the Paycom app, whatever, at about 7 a.m. You still have to wait about 20 minutes after you line up. And then after you line up, you sit there for another, I don't know, just estimating, you just sit there for another 10 or 15 minutes waiting for the DSP in front of you to finish loading your van. And then by the time it's your turn to load your van to get to the front of the line, that takes probably about, I guess, 20, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but no more than 20 minutes. So 20, 20, 20, that's almost an hour of getting in line, waiting, and then loading your van. And see, I know people that work for UPS, I'm not in control of the way Amazon does things, and I know Amazon is not UPS. We, you know, we apparently know that they're two different companies, but why doesn't Amazon do like UPS where they have loaders already pre-load the packages into the Amazon vehicles? That way we don't have to line up. That way we don't have to wait in the line. That way the drivers don't have to load the packages for ourselves. So yeah, that's the point I'm trying to solidify and strengthen by making that point. I'm trying to solidify and strengthen by making the point that Amazon does not have a methodical and systematic nor efficient way of doing things. It's very, very slow. It's time consuming, and it's very unwise the way they keep changing the routes for the DSPs, the delivery service partners or delivery service providers. But anyway, that's my take on the video as to explaining why I feel that not everybody could be an Amazon delivery driver. For those of you who have more tolerance in dealing with those sort of things that I mentioned above with the Amazon DSPs and Amazon Corporation, those of you who have a higher tolerance for dealing with those things, more power to you. I'm really proud of you guys, and more power to you. And if you think you could do it, go for broke. But me, I was just explaining how my delivering for Amazon was a frustrating experience for me. That was my video. Thank you for watching my video. Feel free to leave a comment below, and do the best of my ability to respond to you. Thank you for watching my video, and have a safe and healthy end of the 2021 year.